Here's my audience. And here we go. Einstein is a name most Americans are familiar with. We have heard his name many times in our lives while either listening to our science teachers in class or while watching movies or television. The American culture has made Einstein's name into an icon of absent-minded yet brilliant professor. While trying to decide who to do a biographical speech on, I decided on Einstein because I've always heard that he was a poor student, a womanizer, and a very distant kind of person as an adult. I wanted to find out if these facts were truth or fiction, and here's what my research found out for me. Einstein was born to parents named Hermann and Pauline Einstein. He had one sister named Maja. Einstein was delayed in his speaking skills as a toddler, which caused his parents much concern, and they consulted a doctor. The doctor was not concerned. He started school on time and was a very gifted student in all his subjects, but most especially in math. He went on to a higher institution of learning at age 14, and he went on to college after that in Zurich at a place called Polytechnic. There he met Maliva Merrick, and after graduation he had quite a hard time finding a job. The letters that he sent out have been found, and quite a few interesting quotes from them are available in a book entitled Einstein by Walter Isaacson. While Einstein was married to his college girlfriend in 1903, after they had had a child who many historians believe died in her infancy, they went on to have two more children, both boys. For the first part of the marriage between Albert and Maliva, Einstein worked in a patent office at a job a friend from the Polytechnic College had helped him to get. While working in the patent office, Einstein continued to work on a dissertation paper and to apply for many teaching positions. Einstein began to grow more involved with his work after his letters were finally answered and he obtained a job as a professor. While he became more involved with his studies, his wife Maliva became more and more unhappy and jealous of his time spent away from his home. She moved herself and their sons to another city towards the end of their marriage, and during the time of their separation, Einstein tried to keep in touch with his sons through letters and visits, but was unable to visit as much as he would like because this was during the First World War. While Einstein stayed in Germany, he began a romance with his cousin Elsa. While by today's standards, this is not allowed, at that time in Germany, there was no problem with the relationship except that Einstein was still married. Eventually, Einstein and Maliva divorced in 1919, and that same year, Einstein and Elsa were married. While married to Elsa, Einstein continued to teach and lecture and research the world of physics. Before the Second World War, Einstein and his family came to America, where eventually they became citizens in 1940. After Einstein became a citizen of the United States, he spent much of his time doing research and participating in different endeavors to call awareness to the plight of Jews in Germany and other parts of Europe before the Second World War. After Elsa passed away from kidney and liver problems, Einstein encouraged his oldest son to come to America also. Eventually, his son did move to America and bring his wife and two children. Einstein continued to live in New Jersey until he passed away in 1955 from internal bleeding due to a ruptured aneurysm in his abdomen. When I finished my research and began writing my speech, I realized that the majority of the things I'd always heard about Einstein had been greatly exaggerated. Einstein was a very gifted student who never failed a math class. He was ahead of his time in the way he viewed relationships, and he would fit in very nicely today with most of society. And that while he did seem to be an observer most of the time, by reading some of the letters that he wrote to others that have been published, I could tell that he was not a distant and cold person at all. He was just somewhat reserved.